And I'll tell you guys since we're all friends. Every character I write has a piece of me in them. Hi, I'm Lee Bardugo. You're listening to the Grishaversary.
Welcome to Grishaverary, episode 170. In this episode, we will be discussing who is the most powerful Grisha. This is your host, Eric.
And I'm Terry from Nashville, Tennessee. This is your podcast for all things Grishaverse.
A world created by our fabulous author, Lee Bardugo. Moi saviani casters.
Hi.
Hi, and what just happened was I took a sip of my carbonated beverage and then got the little, the carbonation. That's what. None of our listeners have any clue what I'm talking about, but Terry gave me a really odd look, like, what was going on? And
Are you okay?
Yep, I am good. I just had the little bubblies. The booblies.
And I'm glad we got through that.
Yes.
Because
It's been a minute.
even when we miss 1 week, the week we come back, I feel discombobulated and I'm like, do I remember how to do this? But now it's been a while. And I really had this moment of like, do I remember how to do this?
I'm really glad that we are recording it now because we didn't, we actually are still in November, even though it'll be released in December. Because this was supposed to obviously be the last episode in October, but
This always happens. It literally happens every year. It is our Grishaversary happens at the worst time of the year, every single year. And then there's holidays, and then we
life.
all get sick. It has happened every year where all of us get sick. Like one of us gets sick, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then like holidays, and then we're like, when are we doing this? I don't know. And then we end up sitting here in costume at the end of November.
Right. Just like, hey, it's still Halloween in our world.
It's perfectly fine going through like drive-thrus. Like, what's up, Taco Bell?
We just did Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And hey, what's up?
Don't you know it's still Halloween?
Exactly. So
Halloween in my heart.
it is. And I'm so glad that we, no matter how long it takes us to do these Grishaversary episodes, that we do get to do all of them because, we put a lot of effort and time into these costumes. And we haven't had to repeat any.
No.
Amazingly.
Next year, probably.
We will. You never know. You never know. Oh, did you just get
Sorry,
a
I
little
didn't mean to crunch.
Oh. Well.
I had a lolly.
A lolly.
A lolly.
So I am dressed up as Darlington Demon.
The gentleman demon.
Yes. And now I can ask you, this is not who you thought I was going to dress up as.
No, but I like it.
Okay.
We're the same color, kind of, which is
We are.
which is interesting. It's a very gold and beige episode.
I just noticed your tail is hanging out over your shoulder.
It is.
Has that been there this whole time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just my tail.
I think I was just used to seeing it over on the table, and then now I looked and I'm like, oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, this actually works out because so
Yeah.
you're Darlington's cat.
Yeah. So it does work out.
It does, yeah.
Didn't plan it, but here we are.
Hey.
This has been sitting in a bag since October, like waiting. It was all together. It was just like waiting.
A furry kit.
Something like that. Can you hear my bells? Hold on.
Oh, you're too cute. Oh, I love that.
I have a collar on with bells and a cat.
So I'm going to say Terry entered my house this evening and all she was wearing was a beige hoodie.
Uh-huh.
Well, she was wearing pants and but
I had underwear on. I had socks on. I had
just a
Crocs
beige.
on. Yeah.
And I was all in my getup with my horns
It
and
happens almost every week, though.
yep. But I always I get worried because I'm like, I don't know who she is. And I sit there and think, and
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay, who in the story only wears a beige hoodie? And then luckily you brought out your paint. And
Yep.
you're like, I still have stuff to do. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, thank God. Because I have no clue who you are. Whew. Goodness.
Yes. So I am Cosmo.
Yes, you are Cosmo.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I love it. I think, and yeah, I'm Darlington Demon, and yeah, I tried makeup, didn't work.
You have eyeliner on.
Yeah, that's the remnants of what's left. But yeah, and I put fun little
Yeah.
rune things on here.
And
But
you did a good job because it looks like it belongs on there.
oh, thanks.
Like it looks like it came that way.
Chris laughs at these things because we put all this time and effort into
Uh-huh.
costumes that we will wear one time.
Yeah.
I will never ever need to wear this ever again.
No, I mean, I have well, now it's 2 like Rubbermaid totes of like just Halloween randomness that we've collected over the years, like while the kids were growing up and everything. And I had to add another bin, and now all like the Grishaversary stuff gets thrown in there too. So whenever the kids need a costume or something, I'm like, well, let's go through the bins and see what we can find.
Do you think maybe in the far, far future, people will be paying money for at a Grisha cast auction for these costumes? Maybe. It's fun to think about.
I doubt it.
Right. I do too.
I mean, the hoodie I will wear again,
Yeah.
but the rest of it, I don't know. I like the gloves. I don't know where I would ever wear them, but I actually really adore the gloves. Rylan actually stole the black pair,
Oh.
and he wears them unironically.
Well, I will
But-
say your outfit looks very comfortable.
It is so comfortable, and it actually probably works better now than it would have in October. I probably
Yeah.
would have roasted.
It is perfect.
Now it's like 18 degrees, and we're all good.
Yeah.
Yep. I like my little toe beans.
Those are so cute. So let's see. We are I'm so excited for this episode because we're doing something that we haven't done before, which is discussing who is the most powerful Grisha, and we'll get to that in a minute. But because there's been a lot of news that's happened recently that we had to talk about,
Yeah.
and I mean it's devastating.
Yes.
But
I just had to break the news to Alden today. He didn't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh, God. Was it last week that it came out? It was the week I got
A
my
couple
hair
weeks, I think.
because I got my hair cut. I remember. I remember that I was waiting to go in and get my hair cut, and when I came out, I had gotten a text from Alex that said, "Have you heard the news?"
Yeah.
And then on that same car trip home, got a text from you.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. So we are talking about how Netflix just decided to.
But we knew.
Yeah, we did.
That's the risk you take anytime Netflix picks up anything.
Yeah.
Because they rarely go beyond like 2 seasons of anything. So we knew that was a risk, and we talked about it when it first started, that we were worried that we would only get 1 season, and we were happy that we got a 2nd season.
Yeah.
And I've seen that there's some argument. There is a petition. We'll talk about that. But I have seen some arguments saying that we need to focus on the Crows story because that wouldn't cost them as much money. And so there was a long list of like why we need to be pushing the Crows story because there wouldn't be as many special effects and things that Netflix would have to do.
Yeah.
So there's a big push, like a bigger push. But then the petition actually says, like, don't leave Alina's story untold or whatever.
Well, I think I'm hoping that the petition really is just like, because it was for season 3 of Shadow and Bone
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
the Crow spinoff. And I think
Give us
everybody was
anything.
wanting the Crow, like, we all want the Crow spinoff.
We'll take anything, really.
We will. They did leave us in a very weird place,
Yes.
and weird specifically with Alina, but it actually really upset me because I loved what we saw in that last episode of what was coming, all the things about King of Scars
Yeah.
and Nick. Ugh.
Yeah.
And now that makes me so upset. And what was so sad was watching all of the actors post on Instagram, like
Yeah,
their
it was-
message, like it was just heartbreaking.
Yeah. There's a lot of like fan artwork now or like memes that are going around, and it's really sad. But, like I said, we kind of knew.
Yeah.
We were lucky to have 2 seasons, and I highly, highly, highly doubt that even with the petition, anything's going to happen.
What do you think the chances are of like, could another like place pick it up?
Yes, absolutely. I
Good.
think that's what happened with the Shadowhunters.
Okay.
Again, if you like that book series, don't ever watch anything that has to do with Shadow. Don't watch the movie. Don't watch the series. Don't watch anything. Even though Jonathan Rhys Meyers is the bomb,
And so hot.
just don't. Just
Okay.
don't do it because you will hate it with a passion. But that's what happened with that. There was like
Okay.
a movie, and then it was picked up by someone else. But there's been a few
Yeah.
series where it like ended and everybody was like angry.
Yeah.
And then it moved to something else. I think like CW is really good about that, which we do not want it to go to CW.
No.
But CW does that a lot where they pick up.
One that happened recently that I just thought about was Vikings, because that was on History Channel, and it ended, but Netflix bought the rights, I guess, to continue the story.
Yeah.
It's neat. I just I hope that happens. I hope if HBO or Max bought it,
Yeah.
that would be incredible because they would.
Or Stars.
Ooh, Apple is putting out some phenomenal
Yeah, they are.
stuff. Like
Buccaneers. Oh
Everything-
My gosh.
everything Apple is putting out is incredible.
Yeah.
Like I'm so impressed with.
Yeah, they're doing a lot.
They are.
HBO always does a lot.
They do.
But yeah, I know because like Stars has picked up. There's several things that they did that like they bought the rights to several things. Like even Outlander belonged to somebody else because they were going to do a movie, and then it just sat there. And Stars was like, "Yo, are you going to do anything with that? Can we have it?"
So explain that to me because Chris was telling me how Netflix bought the Grishaverse from Lee. Like, how does that work? Like, if they own it, then because Outlander, she's still writing
Yeah,
books.
like Game of Thrones and all that stuff. You just you buy like the rights to
Okay.
produce a movie, TV show, whatever.
Okay. So the author can still write.
Yeah,
Okay.
the story still belongs to the author, but
Okay.
like TV show, like so they're basically buying the rights to use the likeness of everything and to use the storyline. It's like, if I make a certain piece of artwork that
Right.
somebody else has to like pay me money to use it in something else. It's the same thing. But it's not visual arts that you're taking a story.
Okay.
So, but then the thing typically becomes that once those rights are given, the place that's bought it they can do whatever they want
right.
to with it,
Exactly.
which is always terrifying.
yeah.
They don't have to confer with the
No.
original author. They could just do whatever.
That's one good thing that Lee was saying is that she actually was very proud with what Netflix did present. sure, like, not every, like, there were things I'm sure that she said no to, but as a whole, she was very happy with what was produced and loved all of the actors and actresses, like, because they all were the characters.
Yeah.
They really were. Um, Petition is online, and it's at change.org, but I think there is, I'm looking at it right now. It says Save Shadow and Bone. So I'm sure if you just go to change.org and type that into the search, you can find it. Fill it in, send it to your friends. It's yeah, just to see if anything can happen. It actually says this is a petition to gain attention of other streaming services such as Amazon, Hulu, HBO, or any other streaming services so we can receive the third season like we deserve.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's basically just somebody
Pick it
give
up.
us more.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm all for it.
Just not the CW, please.
No. That would, and I don't think that would
I
happen.
think that's who took Shadowhunters.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
so bad. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about.
I a little bit. I know that the book I'm reading is by that author that you really like
Yes.
because the books are phenomenal, you said.
Yes.
So,
The Shadowhunter series, like books, are amazing. Like that was the first, because I guess I was reading Outlander for so long, I was having a hard time like getting into anything, and I actually got through all of Shadowhunters. Now, once she started doing the prequels and things, I haven't read those, but the actual like base series, that was the first jump back in
yeah.
to books that weren't Outlander for the 50th time. And I really did enjoy them.
Yeah.
And I think that you would actually really enjoy them. There's lots of fairies, and there's a super queer, fabulous wizard guy, and
I've got it on my Kindle.
you would like
I
it.
do. I've just, yeah, I've got to. I promise you, I will. Like, I will. I'm gonna get to it.
There's just so many things to read. My to be read list is probably so long that I will never get to them. Like, I will die before I get through my list.
Yes, I agree.
I will need somebody to sit at my grave
and read
let's
to me.
read.
Read to me what I did not finish.
That's how you can think of me in the afterlife.
Ugh, how poetic. So, yeah. So that news, which was big news, and I think that was it. Really, right? Yeah,
I feel like I've lived an entire lifetime since we've
recorded.
we recorded last time, so I don't know.
Hey, it's okay.
We've had holidays together. We've had things.
We've had lots of stuff. We have, and there's more to come.
So much more.
There is. Our social calendars are full.
Our family
is insane. They're insane.
It is absolutely insane.
Yeah, because just letting our listeners know that Terry is officially like
I have been adopted.
Yeah, by my mom, and it is oh Lord. I mean, I hear from Terry that my mom's sending messages to my brother to try to get a rise out of him. Love it.
Does she know how to like screenshot so that I can see what he's? Because I actually.
She can try, but no.
Jonathan is like some of my entertainment.
Oh, he is
like
very entertaining, and he is very.
He is my entertainment. So I would like to see if it actually worked, or if he just goes okay.
Yeah, sometimes he just ignores things.
Yeah.
Which I think happens the majority of the time.
Yes.
And my mom also is part of, I was about to say part of the generation, but I don't know if it is the generational thing where she just thinks that since she has her phone in front of her every minute of the day, and if she gets a text, she responds that everybody.
Yeah.
She sends a text, and if you don't respond, like, I sent it like 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
It's like, people are busy. I always have to, like, try to walk her off that ledge.
That's the whole thing with texting is that you don't have to answer it.
No, you don't.
Unlike calling where I will ignore that forever.
Mhm.
But I showed her a video of Billy Eichner at Thanksgiving, and I was like, "Is this not your oldest?" And she was in the kitchen. She's like, "Yep, that's him. That's my Jonathan. That's him."
I can see her, hear her doing all of
Uh-huh.
that. She is.
So
Oh,
if you all know Billy Eichner, then you know Eric's older brother.
yes.
He is like to a T.
Yeah.
Like looks like not identical, but like they look
Yeah, they look
like
similar.
they could be relatives.
Yeah.
Like even the height and build and the mannerisms, the
Is
voice.
he tall? Is
yeah,
Billy Eichner
he's
tall?
really tall.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny.
He was the one in Bros.
Oh, I know exactly
Yeah.
what you're talking about because I laugh because I think of like when I watch that movie, I just am like, it's really weird.
Maybe
like
it's awkward.
it does, especially when they had some like the sex scenes and stuff like that. I was like, okay,
Oh my gosh.
because they
Yes.
are very similar.
are
So
very-
it's not like just saying, oh, I can see a little bit of like him and him, but no, like I mean, it freaks me out a little bit. So, yeah,
They could be cousins. Like
yep,
they could be brothers, actually. Like they are very
they could
similar.
be. Yeah, they could be brothers more than
Yes.
I am with my own brother.
Yes,
Like,
actually.
They are more alike than Jonathan and I are.
So go watch Billy on the Street,
Oh,
who is on, it's all over
That's-
TikTok, and it cracks me up. And that's like when I'm feeling
Funny.
down, I go to Billy on the Street. But that's the oldest brother.
is that on? So you said on TikTok?
Yeah.
That's what it's on?
TikTok, YouTube.
Instagram, maybe? Or
Yeah,
maybe not.
probably.
Okay.
But like my favorite video is where this woman is like, "Is this a internet thing?" And he's like, "Oh, actually, it's a TV and internet thing." Because it was on Comedy Central.
He's funny in everything.
Yeah.
He really
He's-
is.
yeah.
I haven't seen anything of his that I didn't
It's
like.
funny for us because we know your brother.
Right. But he's also just
Yes.
genuinely so funny. I
Yeah.
like it's his humor. It's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So shout out to Jonathan.
Hey, he's not listening.
No, he is not.
No, he does not.
Nope.
No.
Nope. He's don't got time for this.
Absolutely not.
No. He will I'm sure he appreciates that we do it, and that's as much as he cares. So God love him. But so
Oh,
I know.
we need to go visit him. Anyway,
We do. I really want to because it'd just be fabulous. And in Salem is only a 3-hour train ride away if we went to P-Town.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like
You feel like
there's funsies.
whiskers, like,
I think it's like partly my hair, partly the tail. It's hard being a furry.
it. You poor thing. You're
Okay.
making it. So,
All right, moving on.
yeah, let's get to what our show is about. So, 45 minutes in, we're getting to the topic,
Woo.
which I have no clue if it's 45 minutes. But
Yeah, we don't have our timer anymore.
yeah. But so we are going to do something that I guess everybody else I didn't understand what a bracket was, but also I don't pay attention to sports and
Sports
things like
ball.
Right. So we are going to be doing a bracket form episode where Terry and I each are going to have a Grisha from obviously the Grishaverse, and we're going to discuss a little bit about him. And yeah, we are not going to pick the winner out of the two that because there'll be different pairings. We are going to let you guys do that, and that will be discussed later. That'll be something that you'll be able to do after you listen and on our website. But so we've got 8 brackets. Is that what you say? 8 brackets that
Sure.
or 8 pairs? Sure. Okay.
Yeah, it's like 8
Groupings. 8, yeah.
8 head-to-heads.
8 head-to-heads. I like it. And instead of us, putting time, effort, and work beforehand into
Stop laughing at me.
Terry is just trying to pick this hair that I think she has no clue where it is.
I'm depositing hair.
She's trying to find it.
I was plucking it one by one out of the microphone.
Okay. So, anyways, we've got these pairs, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to just be going to actually the Grishaverse fandom wiki to kind of get information and remind us about these characters. And we're just going to discuss them. So our first pairing is, so I have Ilya Mortsova, and then Terry has Alina Starkov. So that's the first pairing. So I actually have Ilya pulled up. We remember he's he's like the main Grisha man. I mean, he's like the bonesmith, the Sankt Ilya in chains. Mentioned a lot throughout the series. But I kind of think the father Grisha, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Happens to be Bagra's father. Yep,
Yes.
Bagra's father.
Yes.
Um,
So the
Darkling's grandson.
granddaddy.
Yep. And then Mal's descendant.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Mal is a descendant.
Yeah. So it says that his Grisha order is a Materialkai, and he is a Durist, and occupation says healer and inventor. And so when I think of Ilya, I just remember his story from the Lives of Saints, really.
Yeah.
And it's told throughout the book too. I mean, he created like the 3 amplifiers, and yeah, he was pretty powerful. But he die? Didn't he get thrown into? Didn't they Yeah, that's right. They put him in chains and threw him off the bridge, and he supposedly died, maybe. But anyways, had lots of power.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's Ilya. So,
So, I mean, Alina is easy.
right.
Sun Summoner, one of the most powerful Grisha that's ever lived.
Mhm.
She's known for destroying the Shadowfold. She marries Mal. She owns the orphanage now.
Oh yeah.
But in her prime, she fought literally everything.
Yes. Yeah.
She fought the Darkling, who is I don't know, probably other than his mom, is insanely powerful.
Yeah, exactly. I find it so they're the only Bagra and the Darkling are the only shadow
Yeah, because the
summoners.
Darkling never had kids.
No.
But I imagine if he did have kids, what if Alina and the Darkling had kids?
Well, the way the story in the show was going, that
Oh yeah,
she looked like
she was going. She was going.
we don't
bad,
know.
But
We have no clue. She just had a look on her face that wasn't. I don't know.
yeah.
It was something, but
But
yeah,
Alina is
she's
that girl.
she is that girl, and she is our just our main girl for the Shadow and Bone series.
Yeah,
I mean,
that one's easy.
ex-
But who wins that one?
gosh, I mean, so we can discuss it. I mean, that those are two really powerful people. Although I kind of feel like now we're not picking the winners, you guys are,
No.
but I kind of feel like almost Ilya would be. I feel like maybe if I was picking, Ilya would win between Alina and Ilya, just because. Well, no, maybe not, because I mean
The
everything
only thing Ilya did was bring back somebody from the death
and create the amplifiers,
and create it. Yes.
right? And also
Alina saved the world.
she did. Did.
So I'm just going to say that. Moving on.
He also gave birth to a shadow summoner who, yeah. So, you know what? We'll let y'all decide.
Yep, that's up to y'all.
Have fun. Okay.
Talks amongst yourselves.
Yes, exactly. So our next grouping is Juris versus the Darkling. Okay, so Juris, who was that? So yeah, Juris is another saint that we've got pretty much from the Lives of Saints, definitely mentioned throughout King of Scars and is actually in King of Scars.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because Juris is the dragon one that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Zoya kind of, they become gal pals, kind of,
He becomes her mentor.
Yes. And I loved that. Just saying. I loved reading about that. I thought that was, and especially since she took on the dragon powers. But he's just another, like, it says his Grisha type is Squalor, Inferni, and Tidemaker. Because he did say, like, you could be everything. But it says his order is Etherealkai. So he's all of them.
All the things.
All the things. Yes. So he's powerful. Definitely. The saints are hard because, like, I mean, really, I feel like when we were reading about them, like, when you heard about them, they seemed like they're the most powerful beings. But then when you really read the stories in Lives of Saints, they really were just Grisha. Like, just
Right,
other,
yeah.
like,
They were just powerful Grisha that did cool things, and people were like, "Ooh, saints!"
Right. So there is Juris. Yeah.
And Darkling, obviously, Shadow Summoner. He was the second in command of all of Ravka because he was the
And
leader
hot.
of the Second Army. Yes, the Darkling is hot. He's lived forever. He has a ton of aliases because he's been around since like the dawn of time.
Yeah.
Many centuries. He created the fold.
He's cool.
He's the cool bad boy that everybody wants to love, but you shouldn't because he's not a good person.
Right. Oh, jingle all the way.
Eagles. But he thought that he was protecting Grisha at all times, didn't always make the best decisions, but he
stayed true to that. Really?
Yes. Everything he did, he thought he was doing for Grisha. It says in here that he was an unknown heartrender.
Unknown heartrender.
Yeah. I don't know. It just says unknown heartrender.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's all it says?
Yeah. It does say that.
That is weird.
Because if like under his relatives, I guess his like family tree has like heartrenders in it.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
Which makes sense, I guess.
I'm trying to think. Okay, so heartrenders, like, I mean, they're the killers.
Killers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm trying to, like, I feel like there had to be, like, I mean, he obviously summoned Shadow, but did he ever kill any, like...
You have to speak up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think if we ever read about him doing anything like that, but...
I don't know, but it also says his Grisha order is Etherealkai because that's where the Shadow Summoners like
Right.
sit. So I don't know. That's weird. But also, we have to say we have to shout out that he's a human amplifier.
That too.
Like he's a living amplifier.
I'm glad you pointed that out because
That's a big deal.
That is a big deal, and so is Bagra.
Yeah.
And it's huge. So, wow. And at the end of Rule of Wolves, he actually is like holding the fabric of the
Yes.
Grishaverse world together. He
Yes.
actually has pretty much saved, supposedly, the Grishaverse by being stuck in a tree.
Yep.
So he might have been our villain, but yet the Grishaverse would have exploded, imploded, or who knows?
My name is Alexander Moritova, but I have had 100 names and I have committed 1,000 crimes. I am not sorry. I do not repent. All I did for Ravka. And then he gets pierced in the heart. So, so there's that. Good luck going against the Darkling.
Yeah, I feel like that.
I feel like the Darkling's gonna go a long ways in this
because he has, he has gone so far, just in our story alone. So him against Juris, I definitely feel like the Darkling probably would, but hey, up to y'all.
Yep.
So our next bracket is Bagra versus Elizaveta. Okay, so who Bagra? We know who Bagra is. That is the Darkling's mama. Yeah, she's. I love her character just because she's so interesting and I feel like it takes a while when you're reading her character to get to know who she is, and the more you learn about her, it's just fascinating. She's Darkling's mom. She's a shadow summoner. She also when we read the comic of what was the name of that? The story of the Demon in the Wood. We got
illustrated.
Yes, the illustrated version. We got more of a backstory on that, and we learned more about Bagra. She really was trying to protect her son and teach her son how to survive in this world, and I think she tried as hard as she could. And when we reach her in Shadow and Bone, she's pretty much, unfortunately, gotten to the point where she sees he's just been so corrupted. But I feel like she. Do you think she's stronger than the Darkling? She's the mom.
I don't know.
It's
she wasn't when they went head to head.
Right, but did she actually try to did she fight against him, or
She wanted to stop him,
right?
But I don't know.
Yeah,
they did go at it, and she lost.
She also is the teacher for all the Grisha that come to the little palace, and so she teaches Alina. And she's just, she's a snarky woman that, just lives in a hut. And I don't know. I think but she is considered a shadow summoner, an ethereal Kai. And let's see, I think that is really and she's been around forever as well.
And she's going up against Elizaveta, who is the Sancta Elizaveta of the Roses. She's a Ravkan saint, the patron saint of gardeners. She was jailed in the Shadowfold with Grigori and Juris that we talked about before.
Yep.
She's 500 something years old. She dead. But so is Bagra.
Yes. Yep.
She's material Akai. She could control like the bees and the flowers. I feel like controlling stinging things is terrifying.
Yes.
But when they got trapped, she was gonna hold a ritual. The what did they call it? Was it was Baya, but he
Yeah.
called it something else. But
The-
anyway, she was gonna perform that, and Zoya she caught on of like what was actually happening. So Elizaveta did not have good intentions,
No, she did not.
but she could trick them. And she she wanted to like bring the Darkling. Anyway,
Yeah, she was something to be able to like because it was gonna benefit her
yeah.
somehow.
And then in the show, when the Darkling dies, a little bee
I know.
comes and lands
Yep.
on like Zoya. So
I love that part.
yeah.
Small little part. Well, yeah. So okay. So Elizabeth. Yeah.
So Bagra and Elizaveta.
Yeah. Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Our next is Zoya versus Hannah Broom. So Zoya, my favorite character, happens to now be the Queen of Ravka and has been in the story since the very beginning. She's my personal favorite mean girl. And yeah, she's a lot of different things, but she's an ethereal Kai. But then she learns that she's also she's a material Kai as well. Because she learns from Juris that she can do, tap into these other powers. And then she's also a dragon,
Yeah. She
Like-
can turn into a dragon.
Yeah. So, and her occupation on here says Queen of Ravka, Saint, Soldier of the Second Army, Commander of the Second Army, member of the Grisha Triumvirate. She has got a resume.
Yeah. She's another one that's going to be difficult to go against. Poor
Yeah.
Hana.
Yeah. So, but yeah, she's very strong. She's she's mainly a huge, when we see her in Shadow and Bone, a squalor with immense power and is just, she's got a great story. I love her.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And she's going against Hana Broom, who is Jarl Broom's daughter. And y'all remember Jarl Broom.
Yep.
Such a weird, difficult
is.
name. Is the evil guy. He reminds me of like the evil Nazi in like old movies.
Makes sense.
But yeah, so that's his daughter. She's a healer. She lives in Fjorda. She is engaged to Nina.
Yep.
She is really good. She's also I would say she's a tailor.
Yeah.
It only says healer in here for some reason, but she's a tailor. Like she tailored herself
Oh, yeah.
multiple times.
Absolutely.
And then she tailored herself to look like the prince and then killed him and took over.
Yeah.
And so she's about to be, well, no, she is king
Mhm.
of Fjorda.
Yeah.
As a tailored Rasmus.
Wow.
So, like, that's crazy. But
very-
she's also like our gender fluid person in our character in our stories, which is important. But she came in late into the story. But she came in with a punch
Yeah.
and she really stayed there. But yeah, she is now the king of Fjorda. And I would really like to have more of that story.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Like that's the thing that like
That would be
hurts.
great.
I would really like to know more of like how she's going to continue on as the king,
Hey,
as a tailor. Anyway,
we
But-
never know. Maybe she'll go back and write more.
but yes, so Hana and Zoya head to head.
Yeah, that's a, I mean,
We
Yeah.
know what you
well, but
think.
Hannah also, she's very talented. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, she's, but we are trying to judge who's the most powerful.
Yes.
But okay, so we'll just move on to the next. Jesper versus Nadia. And Jesper, we all love Jesper. He is our gunslinging crow, and he learns that, or he is a materialkai. He's actually a durist, and supposedly how he can control the bullets and be such a good sharpshooter. And
That was such a good, surprising storyline.
I agree. I love it because it actually was like there were hints of it for so long, but it like the way it got revealed like later was just, and I think they did a great job of that in the show too.
I didn't like how they did the
Really?
show. I thought it was too early and too abrupt
You're right. It was really early.
because for us, there was this like slow buildup, and then like he was just a good shot.
Yeah.
And
was.
then it was like this massive reveal. So I don't know.
So yeah, he's very like, I mean, he's very talented sharpshooter. I think like, I mean, and I think there's no other character like him. A fabulous dresser.
Our bisexual king.
Yes. And you know, he's Wyland's boyfriend. So
Yes.
okay. So
They need to get married and have 800,000 babies.
yeah, they could.
All right. And Jesper is up against Nadia. Nadia is a squaller who lives in the little palace. On here, I have a little bit to say. It says she is friends with Marie.
Okay.
Were they? Anyway,
That's going way
that's going like way, way, way
I
back.
think they were. Yeah, because I think like that it's Shadow and Bone, I think is what they're referring to. Because they were Alina's like
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So anyway, she has her younger brother is Adric.
Yep.
One arm Adric. And is the wife of Tamar, which is super fun. She was in the Second Army, a Therialkai Squaller. She had a lot to do with when Alina came in, of like befriending Alina and kind of showing her the ropes.
Yep.
Which there weren't that many people that did that. So she was one of the nice girls and not one of the mean girls.
Yeah, she wasn't Zoya.
But she stayed at the little palace even after the Darklings' overthrow. She was underground at the White Cathedral. We're going back.
Going way back.
We are going back. She has her talent is through weapons. And so she works with Nikolai a lot in like King of Scars. And then in Rule of Wolves, she was on the front lines.
Oh, she was.
Yeah. She leads the Squallers.
She really made it all the way through the
whole
whole series.
series.
Yeah, because there's not many characters we can say really made it from the very first book all the way to the very end.
She had a full arc.
She did.
And then like she went through the whole like war, and then she actually she made it through. And then she actually at the the last we ever hear of Nadia is when Zoya is a dragon. She falls and Nadia is the one that catches her.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Huh. So, yeah, well, I wouldn't, Jesper against Nadia. Who knows? You guys will let us know.
Please.
So, we've got 3 more pairs, and the next one is Genya versus, wait, is that right? Am I looking at it right? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just making the face of like, that's a...
I looked at your face, and I was like, oh, God, did I read something wrong?
Because I'm glad we're not making that decision.
Yeah, so Genya versus Nina. Okay, so Jenya, well, we know she's a corporalkai, she's a tailor, and she's also another character that starts in the very beginning, befriends Alina, and does make it very like all the way to the end. Ends up falling in love with David, and but she's very skilled. She's such a skilled tailor.
Yeah.
Like she is like I mean that is her thing, and she ended up being a member of the Grisha Triumvirate, and before that, she was the tailor to the queen of Ravka. Um, that wasn't really the best gig, though, because the king was being mean to her. We'll say that.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, I think she's a very fun character. And I think power wise, I think, like, I mean, yeah, she's a very skilled at what she does, which is like, I mean, because there aren't that many tailors. I think Hana,
Yeah. I think because they were very specifically trained,
yeah,
I think you would only find out if somebody was a tailor if they tried.
right. I think you're right. So it's one of those other like, it's kind of the shadow summoner and sun summoner. They're the special, unique, like
Well,
they're
it's a crossover.
yeah. There's not many,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah. So she's pretty powerful. I mean, I don't think she could kill you. Um, and
Yeah, I mean, but a tailor is a healer at
correct,
heart. Ha,
right?
ha, get it? Um,
Which is
so I mean, I guess,
if
because
if you trained that way, you would just have to get that training.
yeah,
And that's the thing. Like, I mean, she has the power to do it. It's just I don't know whether,
right, yeah.
yeah, she won. So okay, so her against Nina.
And it's difficult.
That's
Nina has a lot going on.
yeah,
She's one of those main character energies. She is a Korporalnik, soldier in Ravka, who joined the Dregs. So we've got crossover from the Grishaverse into like the Crows. I love her entrance. She works at the House of the White Rose, where she's a heartrender, but she's doing services for Kaz, but she's like making money by basically doing therapy. But it's like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's really I love her entrance and the way it started.
She is an amazing character.
Yeah. And then like Kaz recruits her to break into the ice court in Fjerda.
Yep.
She there's so much.
There is.
She has done so many things. Okay. She's a spy for Ravka
Yep.
because she can learn any language very quickly. She's not great at like disguising herself, but she's got this ability to learn any language, and then she can go and work as a spy anywhere. But she's a heartrender, so that like automatically makes her very deadly. And then she goes to Fjerda and she basically just like F's their S up. Like she helps destroy the ice court. She basically almost kills Jarl Broom. She takes Jurda Parim and survives
Right.
that. She lives through the love of her life's death and like carries his body everywhere and like buries him because she made him a promise. She survives all of that. And then she goes and like messes their S up again by getting their factory like bombed. She's still going. Then she falls in love with Hana. So then she's like, well, now I'm close, so then I can mess up Jarl Broom stuff up because he's still alive. It's so
It's a lot. And don't forget her extra power then.
Yes. So she is the only one
Only.
who is a corpse witch,
Yep.
basically, who is basically, it's a heart render, but like of death. She can control the dead. And anytime you make her angry, she just like makes people come up out of their graves or like just like asks bones to just like come to her and then shoots them at you. I mean,
She is I think that is going to be
a bad mother.
That is going to be another very strong contender, I think.
Seriously.
I really as you were reading all that, she's very, very powerful.
Yeah.
And especially
And now she's the queen of Fjerda after all of that.
And like the uniqueness of her power.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a strong one.
It is so much.
Yeah. I don't think Genya would survive like that. Genya
Like
versus
she
Nina.
ends up actually killing the apparat.
Yeah. So
like I could say 800,000 things more, but there's the outline.
Yeah. There's the small little summary.
And good luck.
Good luck. Okay, so our next is Tolia versus David Kostek. So I know. And Tolia Yulbator, I think that's how you say the last name, is one of course, the twin to Tamar. And so Grisha Order is a corporal Kai, and he's a heart render. And
but he's a gentle soul.
He is a gentle soul because he loves liturgical Ravkan poetry.
Yes.
And we meet him as a member of Sturmon's crew. And then he continues on and is considered a member of the Soul.Soul. Because he does have that tattoo, and then ends up actually becoming a member of King Nikolai's personal guard.
Yep.
And he is another his character, they don't get introduced till Siege and Storm. Am I correct? I don't think they were in Shadow and Bone.
Right. No, because we didn't get to him until we got on Nikolai's ship.
Yep. But from that point on, continuously there. And I love, it's hard to just look at Tolia because it's his twin. I just think about both of them, but Tolia's great. And I love that he reads poetry and he's a romantic and
that he's not romantic.
No, but to me he is. He's hot.
But he's kind of like the ace representation. And I was hoping that they weren't going to push something. Like there was a weird thing in the show where I was like, are we going to go down a path we don't need to be going down? But luckily, I guess
we're not going to know because we didn't.
But I love that he was just, even though he was a heart render and we read him killing people, he stood up for what was right and was just he was like this gentle giant, even though he could literally kill you with like a snap of his fingers.
Yeah. And he was hot.
He was a big guy.
He was. So
he's up against David.
David
was a Durist. He was the one that said, like, I don't understand half of what's going on around me, that he doesn't get like jokes or sunsets or poetry, but he knows metal. And he was used, I guess I say used a lot for his skill by both like the Second Army, by the Darkling.
Yes.
He built
so
many things. He created the collar for the antlers.
Yep.
He said eventually he felt bad for that, but he was able to do that. He has that ability to
Yes.
fuse things into your body. He also did the dishes for the weapons, where they could direct the light.
He's brilliant.
Yes, he is absolutely brilliant. He repaired the hummingbird. He actually knew about Mortova's journals.
Yep.
Uh, he didn't make it all the way through.
No.
But he was part of the triumvirate before he met his unfortunate fate. But basically, throughout his whole arc, he had his hand in building all the things, like
And
even the mechanical arm for Adric.
and I think that ability is a huge strength.
It really is.
Because I mean, he could build and do anything.
And he
Like,
helped create the anecdote
yeah.
for antidote, not anecdote. He didn't make a story about it. He created the antidote for Jirta Parim.
Yeah. I feel like that's he's a strong contender and because he's smart and like I mean there's a that's just it's a different kind of strength.
Yep.
So okay, well let's get to our last one, and that is Boyul Bear
Bayar. Bolyer.
I can't remember. Yeah, versus Tamar.
Kerbatar.
Yes, there we go. Okay, so who is Boyul Bear? Was a shoe chemist and a fabricator who created the wonderful drug Jirta Parim. So,
Do you also like when you say Jirta Parim? Do you also think of like the Jewish holiday? I have a hard time. Anyway,
which holiday?
Purim?
Oh, poor. No, but I will now. That's funny.
Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
Jirta Parim.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So we really do, like. I mean, he's a character because he created something that's a huge part of our Six of Crows story, but really he's not around long. Like I mean, because he died. I can't remember how though. Let's see. And his son's Kuei. That's right. Yeah. But really, like I mean, like his main the main big thing is that he created Jirta Parim.
Yep.
Which I mean, in itself, when you think about that one drug
It did a lot.
changed the entire Grishaverse.
Yeah.
It created our Nina.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, just because I mean, really, there's not much more about
Yeah.
him.
He had a storyline. And
Yeah.
but he's up against Tamar, so good luck to him.
Yeah.
Tamar is the twin to Tolia that we just talked about. Tamar is the hot one. She's
both hot.
also a Heartrender, also part of Sturman's crew, also a Soldat Soul. She was part of the militia protecting the Apparat and the Sun Summoner. And then after the Rovkan Civil War, she became captain of Nikolai's intelligence network. What else we got going on? I mean, she's
got the axes.
Yes. Her quote actually was, "I can keep hope in my heart and a blade in my hand."
Yes, you can.
Yes, ma'am. We already talked about her wife, Nadia.
Yep.
Which is such a fun thing. But she, Tamar's a Heartrender, so like obviously just that in itself,
Yeah.
it has a lot. But
Yeah.
she's always quick to defend everyone. But like being a Heartrender, she can just be like,
She's strong.
"Pow."
She's a soldier.
Yes,
I
very
mean-
strong, very soul, and she's got a good head on her shoulders, so she makes really great decisions, which I think makes a good
Balances out the twin.
Well, no, I think they both
Yes.
do. I think they both are like they're really great decision makers. Like throughout their stories,
Yeah.
they weren't making like stupid decisions. They were very like quick but calculated decisions, and that led to not only protecting themselves but also protecting the people that they were supposed to
Protect.
Like they take their jobs like very seriously. Like if they were protecting somebody, then like that's their lot in life.
Yeah. They were soldiers to like, I mean, and strong
Yes.
soldiers with great personalities. I just
Yeah.
want to say that as well. Well, oh yeah. So I mean, well,
So
that
now y'all have
good luck. I
now y'all have a job to do.
You do. So go to GrishaCast.com and we will have our head-to-heads listed. You'll be able to pick one or the other. And yeah, we will be back next week to continue. And it'll be a little surprise on how we're gonna break this down even further. So go and make sure and vote tonight, now, whenever you can. Okay. Well, we love you all. Long live the Grishaverse.
Like we're at the end of the hour, so my voice is a little husky. A plus.
No mourners.
No funerals.
This has been GrishaCast. Connect with us on the web at GrishaCast.com. Send an email to info@GrishaCast.com.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok at GrishaCast.
And thank you to our amazing staff, Alex, Michelle, Lacey, Amelia, and Brenda.